Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Larry Bodenheimer and today we're taking a look at Mint. Mint is a 64-bit cryptojacker. It may also have info stealer or rat purposes, but we will take a look in this video to see if that is the case. Before we run the malware itself, let's take a look at virus total. We have 61 out of 73 detections. However, the malware itself is a little over 3 weeks old, so I'm not going to get too much into detections because most popular AV companies should detect it at this point. For the tags, we have long sleeps, detects debug environment, calls WMI, spreader, 64 bits, and checks CPU name. And here are your threat categories, family labels, and your popular threat label. It would take too long to see who does detect it, so let's look at who does not. So we have, right now I'm not seeing any big names. I'm not even seeing Webroot. I've never heard of any of these before except for Baidu. And Webroot does give it an Amaday verification. So that's not the right one, but you know, at least it's something. If we go to details, here's your MD5, your SHA-1, and your SHA-256. These will be in the comment section of the video, so you won't have to make a note of these now. It says creation time was the 25th. I never look at first seen in the wild because this is always inaccurate. First submission was at 8 Universal Time on August 25th. Last submission and analysis was me about 8 minutes ago, or 6 minutes ago. Here are the names. So we have a random string here, another random string, Office 2024, and Office 2024 with no capital, and two more random strings, one with a .bin extension. If we go to relations, we can see it contacts 4 domains. 2 of these look okay. Pastebin and Microsoft are verified fine. XMR EU1 nanopool.org and XMR EU2 nanopool.org are crypto domains. So we also have 28 contacted IP addresses. A lot of these are showing up as malicious in one way or another. What country is that? Is that Qatar? Or Qatar? Or however you're supposed to say that? That is... yeah, it's Qatar. Okay, interesting. So we've got Great Britain, France, Qatar, Poland, Germany, and the United States, and that seems to be it. But that's 6 contacted countries. And now it says there's 31 contacted IPs. It has updated literally just now, because I'm pretty sure it just said 28. We have 3 execution parents, 2 random strings, and 1 is axplong.exe. 10 bundled files, however they all come back either okay or as not malicious. 7 dropped files, 2 of them do show up as malicious, and the rest are not scanned. Again, in behavior, we never spend much time on behavior on this channel, but if you want to pause and take a look at these for yourself, now is your chance to do so. We have 2 dynamic analysis sandbox detections, and a bunch of crowdsourced Sigma rules. That is an insanely high amount of Sigma rules. So I'm going to have to scroll down a little bit while I talk about it, but we have 2 critical, 7 high, 3 medium, and 3 low crowdsourced Sigma rules. Here's the first bit. And here is the second bit. We also have 1 low crowdsourced IDS rule and 1 info. If we go to community, we can see that Nix, Nike, and Jaffa have all been here at one point or another. And it looks like this has been commented on by Nix, Carlos Cabal, VX Underground, Nike, Thor, twice, and Jaffa. Let's go ahead and minimize this. Let's show the tools that we are going to be using. We have Process Hacker, which I will move over here to the top right. Process Explorer, or I'm sorry, Process Monitor. Fiddler Classic, which I will go ahead and reset. Wireshark, which I will go ahead and turn on Ethernet 0. And Zooey. Let me go ahead and move Wireshark down here to the bottom right. That is a lot of TCP retransmissions, and they're all coming from the same IP. That's fine. I'm not going to spend any time on that. Let's go ahead and delete this folder. We don't need that anymore. And the sock folder is still open, so I will close that as well. Let's take a look at the properties. So if we go to properties, we have no certificate. But if we go to details, it says Microsoft 365 and Office, which is why we have the really shitty Microsoft 365 icon. They can make a Bitcoin miner, but they can't make a decent icon. Alright. We do have a decent file version. Product name is a Microsoft Corporation. That's not what should be there. And, of course, no copyright whatsoever. So let's go ahead and close this. Let's pop up Process Hacker. Scroll down to the bottom. We're going to lower the processes for Firefox, Process Monitor, Zooey, and Wireshark. And without any further ado, let's go ahead and run the malware. Do you want to allow the totally real and not fake Microsoft 365 and Office to make changes to your device? Of course I do. If we look over here, it is running in the background under the Explorer task, and soon enough, it should open a new process, which I will wait for that to do. Let's go ahead and move Wireshark over here to the other window and minimize that for now. Should happen any second. Go ahead and move this to a window as well instead of being full screen. There it is. So it does open PowerShell and ConHost. Then it opens a bunch more tasks. You can see that we have the service random name has been created. And we have two new things here. We have console host and we have command prompt. And these are not going to go away. These are going to be persistent, at least for as long as the computer is running. It does not say that this malware has persistence, but with a Bitcoin miner, I'm sure it does. So we'll restart the computer at the very end to see if it does still run. Let's go ahead and now lower this, and we're going to take a look in Wireshark for any suspicious traffic. So I don't know what's going on with this 146 IP and why it's retransmitting so many packets. But if we take a look at Wireshark, I'm just going to go ahead and show that this is... Oh, wait a minute. Oh! I swear that was the one that was running before we even ran the malware. Maybe it's not the same one that was there before we ran the malware. I did reset it. That's awkward. Okay. Very strange coincidence that we were getting all of these retransmissions, and now we're getting them from the same IP. But this is probably a C2 server, if I had to guess. Let's go ahead and take this IP and run it through two websites. We're going to run it through Abuse IPDB, and we're going to run it through Whois. 146.59.154.106. It says it was found in the database, but only reported one time. It's in France, Robal, the Haute de France. And if we look over here, unauthorized connection attempt brute force. Interesting. And if we put this on Whois, let's just take a closer look. Go ahead and copy this. It'd be easier if we did it like that. And here's your RIPE database. Here's your INET your net name, country is France, organization, ORGOS3 RIPE. You've even got some geolocation information. Status legacy. Interesting. Please don't call that number and start harassing people. But there's really not even that much information on the Whois, which is interesting. It's very interesting indeed. But there you go. Now, let's see if we can find any of the other malicious contacted domains. This might be a case of it only reaching out to each one and seeing which one's still running and then running with that one. But I'm going to look through really quick and make sure that we're not seeing like a 212 or a 163 or a 51. Let me just scroll through here really quick. I'm not going to look at all of these, obviously, but if we scroll down to about here, it looks like this is still all coming from the same IP address. So fair enough. Yeah, it's all the same thing. Okay. So that's fine. As of right now, let's go ahead and stop this. Immediately save it as 1, and we're going to start a new one just in case any new information pops up. And we're going to run this through Zooey. Let's go to welcome to Zooey, import data. We're going to go to documents, 1.pcapng. And while it's loading that, let's take a look in process monitor. That's not process monitor. This is process monitor. So we're going to apply 2 filters. The first filter we're going to apply is operation is create file. And the second one is going to be process name is, and I'm not typing all that, so we're going to go to the desktop, rename, Control A, Control C, Control V, enter, enter, and it'll now filter through 10 million events to see what there is to see. And if we have over 1,000 events for this, then I'm just primarily going to look at the ones that say name and path not found. We only have 36. Wow. Okay. So it looks like it only deleted the prefetch file. Really? Okay, so we have sc.exe. Let's jump to that. And that is still here. If we open properties, what does it say? Service Control Manager Configuration Tool. Okay, that's fine. I'm not too worried about that then. What about program data? Yeah, let's go to this folder. So let's jump to that. It's not even hidden. What? Okay. Let's go to that random folder, and this looks to be the exact same malware, just under a different name. If I open the properties, go to details. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure if I try to resubmit this, it'll say the exact same thing. 61 out of 73. Yeah, it's the exact same malware. Okay. Well, at least we know about that. Let's go ahead and minimize this. So it is now on the downloads folder. It does not seem to have deleted itself or cut it and paste it or anything like that. It just makes a new folder in program data with a random string. This really doesn't do a very good job of hiding itself. So now that we have a new one, let me see if it actually does anything from this. If it if it auto executes. So let's go to the process name again. We're going to do rename first. Control A, Control C, Control V, enter, enter. And it'll take a little bit of time for that. But while we wait, let's go ahead and query the pool. I'm not going to look through this yet, but I'll go ahead and get it ready for analysis. Just so that we don't have to spend the extra time doing it later. And it does seem to execute its own things. Okay, so name not found for mrt.exe. But yet that's the only thing that it deleted. And if we try to go there, I mean, I'm sure it's not there, but yeah. Okay, so it does execute its own program. And we have a temp file here, but I'm not seeing anything that's malicious or suspicious. Let's jump to this. You don't currently have permission to access this folder. I would like permission to access this folder. It is my folder on my computer. I want it. We have VMware system. So it says it detects a debug environment, but literally in the exact same folder is a bunch of VMware stuff. So I'm not sure where it's getting this information. Let's try this .sys file. And we do have 3 detections on this last scan 11 hours ago. So I will go ahead and rescan it. It shouldn't take too long because it is just a .sys file. Let's verify that I'm not a robot and reanalyze. I wish it would at least reanalyze while I'm doing the robot check. Come on now. And most companies are not detecting this. However, we have an unsafe from Cylance, a riskware phone driver from Anti-AVO, and hack tool phone driver from Rising. So congratulations, guys. We got a community. We have a bunch of stuff here. Is the person I'm thinking about here? She probably is. Where's she at? Hello? I'm looking respectfully. And if she's here, I'll be looking disrespectfully. Okay, well, I'm going to quit looking at that. But apparently, hello, but apparently this is really old. Yeah, the creation time and signature date was 2008, and first submission seems to hold that true. Wow, okay. So we have via Tor native overlay 64 bits, that old? It's possible. Sign, invalid signature, long sleeps. Oh, it has a signature? Wait, I didn't even think to look at that. We go to properties. There is no signature. It lied to me. We have a copyright from 2007 to 2008, openlibsys.org. Oh, here we go. Digital signatures. Digital signatures, okay. Crystal, oh. Is that a part of the Crystal Disk family? If you don't know what I'm talking about, Crystal Mark. Crystal Disk Mark. This is a disk scanner. Huh. Huh. Okay. Well, then in that case, this is probably a legitimate system file for that. I don't know why that specifically is here, though. And no other part of Crystal Mark or Crystal Disk is. But, okay. So now I'm also going to check, and I know the answer, so I'm not even going to apply the create file filter on this. But I am going to remove it, and then we're going to get this new name. We're going to rename this, Control-A, Control-C, Control-V, enter, enter. And we're just going to see if this actually ran and did anything. I'm almost positive that this didn't create any files or folders, but it wouldn't hurt to look and see what it did. If it did anything at all. And no, there's no events for this system file, so that's fine. Let's go ahead and minimize this. We'll delete, or not delete, but we'll close the temp folder. We'll close this folder, and we'll close this folder. And we still have this con host and command.exe running. So that is fine. Let's take a look at Zooey. We have known services, 16 shapes, 242 total rows, and not quite immediately, but soon we start getting notices. So we got a notice here for an invalid certification. And we have an alert. And this alert says, ET policy observed DNS query to coin mining domain nanopool.org. Category, potential corporate privacy violation, action allowed, signature ID, GID, revision, metadata, former category, and string. And if we keep going, we'll start getting more alerts. Another contact in Nanopool. We got another notice. Certification failed. Certification failed. What else we got here? We also have a weird. TCP sec underflow or misorder. That's fine. And that's all we have for now. Okay. It's not too bad on its own. Let's go ahead and stop this one. Save it as 2. And I guess we'll reanalyze it again, but we're probably not going to come back to it. And let's do another data import to the second PCAP. And while it's analyzing that, let's take a look at these IPs. So let's go back. You really are going to annoy me, aren't you? So let's go back. And we have XMR EU1 nanopool.org. Let's see if we can just go to nanopool.org. And if we do that, it does seem to be trying to open Nanopool. Pool hash rate for a lot of stuff. Zephyr, Ethereum PAL, Ethereum Classic. There's new Ethereum now. Monero, Raven, Conflux, Ergo, Caspa, and Ironfish. Interesting. Okay. Okay, indeed. Miners counts for all of these as well. A bunch of miners for Monero, which does not surprise me. And 7 and 8 for Caspa and Ironfish, which does not surprise me either, because I've never heard of any of those. Or, I guess, either of those. But, yeah. Bunch for... Oh, that's neat. A bunch for Monero. Something to keep in mind. Let's go ahead and query this pool and see if there's anything new. We do have a few more rows. Hopefully they'll tell us some good stuff. But as of right now, I'm not even seeing any alerts because it's already made those connections. We do have one notice, and it's probably an invalid certificate. Yes, it is. Validation check failed for a certificate. Okay, that's fine, because we've already seen what this does. But as of right now, I'm not sure that this is actually sending off any information, which is good. I mean, it probably means that, you know, your credit card information's not out there sitting on some random person's hard drive or server. But, I mean, it's still, like, malware. You know, it's obviously malware. You don't want it. So, I'm going to do something new at the end of... Or maybe I won't. I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking. I'm doing a big thing. But let's go ahead and I think at this point we'll restart the machine. Yeah, it's still sending a bunch of connections to that source, which I'm thinking is probably nanopool. As a matter of fact, if we just try to go to that IP address, let's see if it takes us to nanopool. No, it doesn't seem to be doing so, so this is probably a C2 server, which was my original guess. Fair enough. Okay, so at this point, now we'll go ahead and restart the computer. The virus total did not say that it had persistence, but if this coin miner or cryptojacker or whatever you want to call it doesn't have persistence, I'm gonna laugh because they probably made like 2 pennies off of the whole time that I've been running this virtual machine. Even if this was a real computer and I restart it, they make like a whole, maybe 4 pennies if it was using 100% of my processing power. But you never know. So let's go ahead and put in the computer password. Immediately go to the sock folder, open process hacker as quick as possible. Go, 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 go. Quit that. Ethernet 0. Alright. So we've got everything open, and yep, it is immediately running on startup. We've got the con host and the command.exe running up here. And if we take a look in Wireshark, I'm not seeing any connections yet, but I'm sure I will. And I'm not seeing any connections to that IP as of right now, but these tasks created by the malware are running. Huh. Well, while we wait, let's go ahead and open Firefox once again. Go back to virus total. Put that back in here. And go back to relations. And the one we're looking for is a... I know it when I see it. I think it was the 146. Yeah, I'll know when I see it immediately. Like, I think. I'm not sure. We have a 172. But I'm not seeing any connections to that malicious IP. Huh. Okay. Well, we do have a bunch of packets, so one more time, I'm going to run this through Zooey and see if an IDS log is going to pick up on anything. So let's open Zooey and get that ready. In full screen, please. Thank you. We can close these query sessions and packet captures. Let's go ahead and stop, save, 3, and run it again just in case it starts connecting with that C2 while I'm doing all this. Import data, 3.pcapng. And you know, that's another thing too. We didn't see any connections on the second packet capture either. I mean, we saw it in here that it was still like sending TCP retransmissions to that IP address, but we didn't see anything else. Let's see, we got a 142. That's fine. A 2-3. No. Huh. Okay. And this should be done scanning anytime. Wait, we got a 2-0. Oh, there are 2 3s on here. but none of what's in that destination route. 2099. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the query pool. And we don't have much. Actually, we have 732 total rows. I don't know why I said we don't have much. We do have some alerts, and these alerts say Suricata app player wrong direction. That's fine. These are all probably going to say that, aren't they? Just to annoy me. Of course they are. Why wouldn't they? If I see any alert ones or notices, I will take a closer look at those. Maybe this one? Here we go. ET-info observed Cloudflare DNS over HTTPS domain. Not necessarily something suspicious on its own, but something to keep in mind. We've got another alert. App player wrong direction. Here we go. Notice. SSL certification validation failed. Is this app player? It sure is. I'm not seeing any alert ones, and that's all the information so far. We'll scroll down to the bottom. I'm still not seeing any connections here, but I'm sure it'll start making connections later on, once the computer has been up for a certain amount of time. But either way, that is going to be it for Mint. I hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you're new to the channel, please make sure to subscribe. And if there's anything that I did not do in this video that you want to see in future videos, please make sure to let me know in the comments so I can do those in the future. My name is Larry Bodenheimer. You guys have been amazing, and I will see you in the next one.